back again. NFC Beast, episode 11, week 13. Can you believe it? This season is flying by. It always happens this way when it comes down to NFL season. I'm BS3, BS3 Network. Obviously, the Cowboys fan. You can see Pollard behind me. I need to X out Jerry Jones's face, but I'm going to have to get another graphic soon.
Hey.
We got Sam. How you doing, Sam?
Great, man. Glad to be back. I know it's been a couple weeks since I've been on the show, but I'm excited to chop it up with you guys once again.
Yeah. And we took a break last week. Obviously, that was Thanksgiving, so everybody spending time with their family. Sam, as you can see, the Eagles fan. Definitely, he is riding with his Eagles. He got the whole gear behind him. And then we got below me, Couch Coach and a Carolina brother. So we can be talking a lot more now. But how you doing tonight?
Good, man. I'm enjoying this historic night. Obviously, this is our Carolina first appearance in AC Championship since 2015. So just enjoying this moment and also just enjoying this nice win streak of the Commanders. So, hey, life is good.
yeah. And we were kind of talking about that. Let's jump into that conversation we were having. Heineke, what he's doing, it's just a different type of energy that he brings that Carson Wentz could not bring, that I don't know even the past couple quarterbacks could bring for this team. And we were talking about how many touchdowns he has, how many touchdowns. We were talking about Russell Wilson and stuff like that. But Couch Coach, you wanna jump in right on that?
Yeah, and you just look at just a simple fact of like Taylor Heineke. I think he had 6 touchdowns since he became a starter. Yeah, I mean he's someone that even from the jump, maybe when he came on 2 years ago as our COVID backup quarterback, our emergency quarterback, essentially. He's done such a great job, and I think he's a guy that you fall in love with his story, and it's almost like you gravitate to a certain moments. Because I remember obviously when he got that home win against Atlanta, and him talking about just the struggles of him being in school, sitting, sleeping on his sister and his brother-in-law's couch. A guy like that, you gotta root for. It's like he's one of those ones where you just look at just what he's gone through, and he's tough. He's a tough quarterback. He's one, obviously. I think and that shows the trust, and you see the guys levitate to him just for a simple fact. Because you see how he throws the ball, and almost like he'll take that hit, but he'll get that football out of the air. And now you see those type of, even though we call them somewhat bonehead plays, but, those are plays that, like the Terry McLaurin and Stephon Gilmore play against that Colts. That's somebody you give a damn about. If it's just if he was just a jag or just a guy, Stephon Gilmore would have got an interception and we would have lost that game. And that Curtis Samuel play, in a sense, like, I think it's just one of the things where you can tell, like quarterbacks, hey, they block better, they block different, they catch the ball a little bit more, they want to do everything they power to get, for Carson Wentz. And it's just an extension of like the coaching as well. Like I think Ron Rivera is the one where those guys love Ron Rivera. Like,
yeah, that went through a wall for him. I agree with you.
For sure. Yeah. And he's one, and it's crazy. I remember when he got fired 3 years ago, and I was like, excuse my hyperbole, but all I want for Christmas is Ron Rivera. Like, it was just like to a point where because even when his exit interview, there was people were crying. Like, you had a grown adults crying, him leaving his exit interview, almost three years to the date of him getting fired. So it's just incredible what has transpired in these last 7 weeks.
Yeah. Let's bring on. We got a couple other people representing their teams here on the NFC Beast. We got our man Courtney Harden making his first appearance on the NFC Beast. How you doing, Courtney?
What up, team? Finally glad to be on the NFC Beast.
Yeah.
It's only right. So thank you for the invite always.
Yeah. What team are you a fan of?
You already know it's the Fly Eagles Fly. The best team in the NFL, man. Who else? But it's good to be here, man. Really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And then we're gonna bring on Wise, the one and only Wise El Jefe, what's going on? How you doing tonight?
What up, man? What's going on?
Good, good. Got the hair flowing too, man. Don't have no
Yeah.
ponytail. You all right? You good? Wise is the Giants, the resident Giants fan on the show. It's been hard to get other Giants guys, so Wise has been riding with us the whole season. I know Sam had a couple subs that came in one week, but we're just kind of talking about Heineke. Anybody else had any thoughts on that and what he's been able to do since he's been in? And I heard some rumblings that Carson Wentz could possibly be coming back and getting that spot. Is that true, or is that more of just fans?
Well, from what I heard, it's he's not getting his job back. That's what I heard.
That's what I heard. Yeah, I heard. I think it's pretty much he's QB1 unless he goes down with an injury.
Yeah, and it should be that.
It's his job. It's his job. Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't. There's no way you hand the back over to him, Carson Wentz. That is, the guy just hasn't been consistent. And one thing you know about Heineke, you could be in every single game. Now you may win, you may lose some close ones, you may win some close ones, but he's going to make sure that you're in that game. And I think that just says it all right there.
We've discussed this already on here plenty of times where a lot of us felt that he should have been the day one starter.
Right. From what he did last year. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and we all know about Carson Wentz. So us Eagles fans, we know all about the Carson Wentz and the things he can't do and the things he can do. So this is really nothing. It was not a surprise. This guy, he either loses his job because of injury or he loses his job because of inconsistent play, whatever it is. We've seen this story a couple of times, quite a few times. So I think he doesn't. Yeah, this was his last chance, and now Heineke he's played the role of the QB1. So this is Heineke's season. This team.
Yeah, he just run the footage. There's plenty of footage showing Carson Wentz not doing anything.
Yeah.
So
right.
You can run that. You can run that back any moment in time. Mm-hmm. All right, so we got a couple weeks that we're going to be recapping. So we're going to first get into week 11. I did it a little bit different, so I got all the games pulled up, who beat who. And NFC East went 3-1 in week 11. The only loss was the Giants to the Lions. We can go to you first, Wise. How depressed were you that week?
It wasn't depressing because I knew what we're capable of, and we just don't have a passing attack, man. Hopefully, with Daniel Bellinger coming back this week, it helps improve. But we don't have any receivers. It's like all our receivers are like practice squad receivers. There's no one really to scare you. So you can load up the box and shut down Saquon and shut down Daniel Jones' rushing attack. But if we can't get any passing game going, it don't look good for us for the rest of the season.
Good point. And hopefully Bellinger comes back. Fantasy.
Well, he's supposed to be coming back this week. So
fantasy wise, I picked him up a couple weeks ago. He hadn't played, so hopefully he rides for y'all. But I agree with you there. I think that's they need that passing attack. They need those weapons. And we lost Courtney. Hopefully we get him back. But the OBJ meeting they said it went well. I don't know what that means. And OBJ might not even play this year, according to what some of the doctors are saying. So that might be a non-factor for me and you, Wise. So we'll see what that. But Eagles beat the Colts in a close one. You want to jump in on that one, Sam?
Oh man, talk about another disappointing win. Like my team's 10-1, and it seems like our last 3 victories have been games that I was just not overwhelmingly impressed by our performance. I think there's still a lot of holes on this team, a lot of ways to improve. We might be the best team in the league, which I truly believe, but it's encouraging / slightly scary that there's still that much room for improvement this late in the season. I mean, it's week 13. It's time for us to kind of buckle down, make these adjustments we need to make and start, really blowing out the teams that we should be beating handedly.
Yeah. And Courtney, we're talking about week 11, the Eagles beating the Colts. Give me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I agree. It was was kind of like I said, it was a disappointing way, but I mean they did win, and they're proving what the Eagles are doing week in and week out. Even with the weaknesses, they're proving how they can win in a lot of different ways. They're proving that they can win ugly. They prove like against the Colts. They proven they can win in a shootout, just like last week against Green Bay. So that does show something there, but there's some red flags too. Not stopping the run, and that's been an issue. I mean, it's ever since the Washington. Well, yeah, the Washington game definitely was the blueprint. So right now, there's still some concerns there, but I still feel like the Eagles, are they're the best team in the league. But it's just showing that they can win in a lot of variety of ways.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm feeling way outnumbered at this point. It's coming to be unfair, but I'm gonna bring this guy on right now. Cool McCain in the building. We now have 3 Eagles in here.
Yeah.
Eagles in here heavy.
Eagles definitely in here heavy. Glad to see you tonight, brother. Congratulations. Play callers, 3-year anniversary.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you here. So
Craig, congrats to soccer team too.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
man. Yeah.
I got the dub tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So you came in perfect timing. I don't know if your ears are ringing or not, but Eagles beating the Colts in week 11.
I mean, I don't know what everyone else has said, but I mean, just for me, run game, special teams, defensive coordinator are the concerns for me. I think we have a lot of talent on defense, but every week I lose a little bit more faith in our defensive coordinator in the bland, vanilla zone that we play way too much. It becomes like a handoff zone, so you have these big windows where you can be attacked, and it's just a matter of pushing up some, changing it up some, but it's like he just doesn't do it. It feels like, you ever felt like somebody just on defense just comes out and calls the same thing on you 10 times in a row? It almost feels like that when I watch. It's like it's the same defense. It's the same defense. Eventually, teams are going to say it's the same defense and attack it and find holes. And maybe there's enough talent where everybody won't be able to put up 33 points against us. But, I digress. Get a wicked head. Sorry.
Good.
But I think with the Colts, man, they had the running game. They did a lot of the things that they do well. We did enough to win this game. Had to come back and win it late in the end because we did not do a lot really through the first 3 quarters. What I will say is I take all dubs. I enjoy them. I don't walk around and say that this is an unbeatable, unstoppable juggernaut, that there's no way anyone can ever stop them. But there's only been one team that stopped us so far. And I haven't made any excuses about that, have I, Couch Coach? I have not made any excuses. We got outplayed, we got out-schemed, and we lost.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, this Colts game was a good bounce back because it showed that they have some resolve. Sometimes you lose, and then like they did to the other team in Pennsylvania, the team just falls apart. But guess what? Not these guys. Got that dub, and we head in the direction that we need to head. It's time to start peaking, but you don't want to be peaking week 5, right? Because you're not going to peak early in the season and then continue that throughout the playoffs. So we need to start that ascension. And special teams has to be better. Defensive play calling has to be better, and tackling has to be better. I'm not even going to beef with the offense. I'm not even going to mess with them. That's what I think.
Yeah. And I agree with you 100% on the peaking point. And all of our teams, which is the great thing, which we'll kind of touch on here and there tonight, the playoff positioning. At this moment, we are all playoff teams. So this is the right time to peak for all of us. And I think that's the realest point about what we're talking about tonight.
The bad thing is, though, for me anyway, I still got 2 against the Commanders and 2 against the Eagles. So,
and you got everybody's new best favorite team, the 49ers too, don't y'all? No, that's the Commanders. That's got them. My bad. It's the Commanders.
Yeah, for Christmas Eve. Yep, Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
3 weeks from tonight.
Yeah. Like we said at the beginning, man, this season is going so fast. And the last thing I wanted to mention, the Eagles versus Eagles beating the Colts, is your coach shouting at somebody in the stands. I don't know who that was, but he went full sprint. He went full sprint
I
and was
love
pointing at that person. I love it, though. I love that
I
energy.
love it.
Yeah, the passion that Nick Sirianni has, bro. I love it. The rock, paper, scissors, I don't love, but the passion, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was for Frank Wright. That game.
Yeah. I was like,
he ran, he bolted over there. So I was like, that must have been somebody that was talking trash that he heard. He was not having it. So
he said, "Y'all fire Frank Reich. I'm gonna. Yeah, this is it. I'm showing it what it's about. My passion.
He went straight LeBron. Frank Reich. This is for you.
with them skinny jeans he had on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, we can get to the last week 11 game. Commanders beating the Texans. Just a public service announcement. Anybody on the Texans schedule, can we just pencil that as a win? I mean, like, come on. Is this even a franchise at this point? Come on.
They might win this week, though. Is the Deshaun Watson? I don't know.
Based on that quarterback play, I would say no.
I don't know. Deshaun ain't playing 2 years. We'll see.
Deshaun's in Cleveland, buddy.
Yeah,
I know. No, I'm saying Houston playing against them. Playing against Deshaun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
They're playing the Texans this week?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How convenient.
You know how the NFL does it.
Yeah, of course. I should have known.
Yep. But Commanders beating the Texans. Give me your thoughts on that.
It was a great game. Obviously, from the start, Kendall Fuller. He's been on the NFL milk carton, in 2021 and beyond. But he started off with the touchdown. Interception return for a touchdown, and pretty much full speed ahead. I think essentially us having that big lead in the first half, and then just ended up being cruise control. And like I said, it is some tough times in Houston. Huge shout out to Lovie Smith. He's doing a great job there, for what he got. So, they fought hard. I mean, they, obviously, there was, like you said, Houston could be everybody's homecoming game in a sense. But I was just impressed, because this could have been a situation. It could have been a letdown game for the Commanders. They definitely could have, dropped that game. But great win. A lot of confidence. A lot of guys stepped up in that win, especially defensively. And just huge shout out to Kendall Fuller, man. He did for him to be the catalyst and get us going in that game was tremendous.
Yeah. I agree 100%. They won 23-10. Now we get to the Cowboys. Not only did they beat the Vikings, they beat the brakes off the Vikings. Honestly, I was shocked. I was expecting them for it to be a close game, for them to blow them out like that. That to me showed like, okay, we can play with top competition, even though we lost against the Packers, which Aaron Rodgers just owns us. Period. We continue to give him opportunities at the end of the game, but Tony Pollard with a huge game on both sides. Tony Pollard is a godsend. Is a godsend. So without Tony Pollard, if it was whoever the Malik Davis, who was the third string, it wouldn't have been the same with Zeke out. So Pollard has definitely showed his worth year after year, and he's doing it even more this year. So big shout out to him, big time win. That was in week 11 as we kind of wrap that up. Then we'll go into week 12, which we had Cowboys and the Giants playing. We had the Commanders and the Falcons, and Eagles beating the Packers. So me and you, Wise, Cowboys versus Giants, Thursday, the Thanksgiving game.
It was a story of two halves.
Yeah.
First half, the Giants D held it down, did what they had to do, and then that second half, it was just straight Dallas, man. What can I say? They were going so well with the running attack. They were doing their thing. And like I said, if you can't pass the rock, they're gonna load the box, man. There's not much you can do after that, especially if your receivers ain't catching the ball.
Yeah.
But it's I'm happy with what we're doing because nobody expected the Giants to be where they're at right now. Everybody thought they would be in the cellar. Nobody thought they would be above 500. Everybody, I don't think anybody's picked them to win 5 games. So for them to be where they're at now, I'm happy with this season.
Yeah.
But it's rough. It's always rough losing to anybody in the division, especially Dallas.
Especially on Thanksgiving, which had huge ratings. So Saquon with 11 carries, 4 receptions. What's your thoughts on that? Needs more?
We definitely need more, man. He's our best player. You gotta get the most out of your best player. And again, it's difficult because again they can key up on him because they're gonna say, all right, we're gonna let Daniel Jones beat us, and obviously he doesn't have the weapons to beat him. So
yeah. And this was called the OBJ Bowl. Now, again, this whole OBJ situation, obviously I'm here in Dallas. So the more and more this is coming out, I'm gonna be 100 with all y'all. I don't want him because if he can't play this year, number one, we're obviously pushing all chips in for this year. I think we got a good enough team to possibly make a run. But number two, the ideology about this is you let Amari Cooper go, who was younger, not as many injuries, and you want to get Odell that had 2 ACLs. Now Odell is a game changer. I get that, but I just think long term, I don't think this is going to be a good choice. And again, if he can't play this year, and he's saying he want a long term deal, and how many games we got left in this? What we got 4 to 5 games left. Who even knows how many of those he would play? So I think I'm off the bandwagon, especially when they're saying that sometimes there could be some health issues. So we'll see. Let's get to this comment here by Blue City Empire Sports. He says, even if the New York Giants lose in the first round in the playoff, I'm just happy that we made it.
Yeah, because if no one expected them to be where they're at right now.
Right. They're one of the surprises of this season. I mean, I think that's real. The most exciting thing I think for me was Dak being able to bounce back after having those 2 interceptions, which that is going to be a problem. We, especially going on a run, you can't throw interceptions during key moments of the game because a lot of teams will convert that into points. And so I think that's a big thing. Also, to have 3 tight ends playing the way that they are, Hendershot, Ferguson, and Schultz. And Schultz had 2 touchdowns. I love what I'm seeing there. The creativity, being able to use the tight end in the backfield. You know, do what you got to do to win the game. Don't be so complacent as to where the other teams know what you're going to do, which that's what the Cowboys are known for. Y'all know that. Yeah, y'all will probably know the plays before any of the players know the plays on the other team. So I mean, like, you got to be creative. So let's go to Commanders beating the Falcons in week 12. Another win.
Yeah, another win. 6 out of the last 7 games. It was a weird day. Obviously, we all know that that was the 15th anniversary of death of Sean Taylor. And the memorial. I don't know what you would consider that a mannequin, but I've moved on from it. I've been talking about this all week. So
yeah.
So I wasn't really impressed by this victory. I know, obviously, look at Atlanta, the team that, even though they're still kind of vying for that last playoff spot as well. To me, it almost had a playoff like atmosphere. And it made me realize this team can travel. This game has a game that travel. Not saying, more so of, hey, they can run the football and the elements. They can, they can pass and they can do a lot of things that defensively. Taylor Heineke, great performance. Obviously, the touchdown to John Bates. Then also Brian Robinson getting 105 yards, his first 100-yard season. And this is kind of the great time now. You at the end of November where you got a running back that's in this stride now. And I think that's going to be a catalyst for him going forward. I was just really impressed. And, we thought, especially to kind of put a bow on week 11 and 12 grand opening with Kendall Fuller with that opening interception return, and then grand closing, sealing that game for us in that interception, and just kudos to our defensive line. Deron Payne is a guy, and I'm just so happy because obviously, obviously everybody keep on talking about December 26th. Oh, John Johnson Allen and they can never work together ever again. But now look what's going on. Those guys are back to being brothers again, and they're playing well. So this whole Deron Payne is done in Washington, which is fodder. But I'm just once another game. I'm just proud of these guys. Like, I mean, you guys know we was here, week 5, second week of October. It was despair, and now at 75. This is just, and I like you, Wise. I'm like, hell, I'm taking it. Whatever happens here, hell, my goal is to go to Minnesota and beat the Vikings. But if it don't happen, if we fall short and we don't make it, I'm still impressed by the season. Because you could at 1-4, it's easy for you to say, okay, January 8th, let's clean out locker. What time the plane leave? January 9th, that Monday. Let's clean out our lockers and Cancun on 3. It could have been Cancun on 3 already, but those guys fought hard.
And you're missing a big part of your defense, man. He hasn't played all year.
Jay Sean,
He's what Micah Parsons is to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Breaks the element.
And you brought it up, Couch Coach. So let's go ahead and touch on it. We got some time. The Sean Taylor, I don't know. That looked like something that would be at a Foot Locker. That's what that looked like. You put it up in the window. It's almost like they didn't take any time. Like somebody just came up with a quick idea.
Yeah.
And they just said, let's put it in the window. I mean, let's put it in the wherever that was. That I get the gesture, and people say, it's the thought that counts. You need to do some more thinking.
Yeah. See, in my personal opinion, it looks like somebody told the ownership group like a week beforehand, hey, it's Sean Taylor's memorial this next week. We should probably do something. And they came up with that and the next day, because honestly, you go outside of Lincoln Financial Field, and I don't mean to brag about the Eagles, but there's a statue of Doug Peterson and Nick Foles there. That went up within months of us winning the Super Bowl. So you've had 15 years to memorialize Sean Taylor, and this is what comes of it. Like, that's a disgrace, and it's just another slap in the face of Washington fans, in my opinion, that, should be the final blow from Daniel Snyder, hopefully.
Yeah. And I think the thing that really disappointed me out of all of it is just certain things. And then people say, well, his, Jackie and his daughter and all those, everybody was happy about it. Yes, granted, not to take it from them, but I know me personally as a fan of a team that I love this team. And actually, this is kind of one of the moments that made me love the team even more, the togetherness of it. So to me, I hated it because to me, it reminded me, it's probably, and I said it on my show, it's probably the same mannequins they use when they advertise the jerseys on 2/2/22.
Yep. And
it's embarrassing. It's to a point where you don't a mannequin. And then I hit, and there's still some jackass that'll say, well, we move it to a new stadium. I don't care. That statue can move too.
You can move it.
You can move it. Like,
it's 2022.
It's 22.
Man.
Dude, people move houses. Like, double wide trailers get moved across the country. Like, you take a statue of that statue, and I can understand that this was a different owner group. But Daniel Snyder, you was there. You flew you took a plane to Miami on Sean Taylor's deathbed. You, Santana Moss, and Clint Portis was at his deathbed. You know him. Like, he's like one of your favorite players, and you do something like that. That's where it's just like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I want to say, man, as a Miami Hurricanes fan, and we are terrible. So thank goodness the Eagles are good because college football. But as a Miami Hurricanes fan, man, that is disrespectful. Like, the thing is, you didn't even get like a dark mannequin or a light mannequin or anything. You just got like a rod like you would see from Foot Locker.
Exactly.
Right.
You threw a jersey that he never wore on it. You threw Reebok pants on it. And you just put it out there. It looks like something that somebody came up with 15 minutes before it was unveiled. It just ran and grabbed it and threw it in there. And that's disappointing because, like you said, I think Sean Taylor would have been a great player had his life not ended the way it did. And I think when you're memorializing something like that, you have to have a sense of understanding and do something that represents the individual.
Yeah.
And that was not done. That looks thrown together. It looked terrible. And, when I saw it, I was in shock. Straight up, I was like, nah, that can't be it. Like, it's got to be like something else somewhere else. This has got to be like the little thing that just like a reminder inside, but there's an actual statue or something somewhere else. Yeah. And then my people was like, no, that's the statue. I was like, I can't even say what I said on air, but let's just say, yeah. It was not words that y'all want to hear come out of my mouth, but
yeah,
it was
unbelievable.
It was ridiculous, man. It was just so disheartening. I mean, Daniel Snyder is a lot of different things, and we all know that. But I think you add douchebag to everything else with that.
Yeah.
For sure.
This is just another L that he's voluntarily taking because this was his approval. Obviously, he's the owner of the team.
Right.
I don't want to hear no excuses saying, "Oh, I didn't know that's what it was going to be." I don't know if he's had a comment about it or not, but it was halfway.
Yeah.
Period.
And he knows him personally, and that's the thing that kind of pisses me off about it all. I can understand if it was another owner that didn't really know Sean Taylor personally. He was there. He was, he was there at his death.
Yeah. All right, let's get to some comments here. Blue City Empire Sports says, "I'm a Florida Gators fan." Maybe that's a shot at
cool.
So that cool.
Hey man, this year I accept all shots and I have nothing to say. I'm just gonna take them.
All right, this is geared at the Giants. New York Football Giants are going to go on a losing streak and come back to reality. The clock has struck midnight. The carrot is coming back to being a pumpkin. That's my guy Raider Kev. He's in the Facebook group commenting. And then Blue Empire says Daniel Jones is 4-1 against Washington. So he's gonna ride. And then we got Washington beat the Packers. Eagles beat the Packers. New York Giants beat the Packers. Cowboys lost to the Packers. Yeah, I know, man. Aaron Rodgers owns us. There's no other way to put it. I'm not making no excuses.
Yeah.
Taking notes. Shout out to Snowman in the Morning. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to check that out. Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Shout out to Cole Johnson. Made the intro for this show. I think he's made intros for almost all of our shows. So Cole is always doing his thing.
Just about, yeah.
Just about. It could be worse. Dan Snyder could be the owner.
Actually, I wish that was the case. Honestly, it's almost something worse.
That's the
best case scenario.
We don't want them.
We definitely don't want them.
Give me Howie. Give me Howie and give me the Wild.
No, you can't have Howie, no sir.
So
you can't have Howie or our owner.
Here's a comment here that we can discuss. James King, thank you for tuning in. He said it was never supposed to be a statue. I don't know where people get that. Nobody's saying. Go ahead, Couch.
My bad. Yes, because they did say they said like a memorial statue, but even if you do, I don't like. There was still context to say they were going to do some type of memorial something. If it was up to me, and that if I didn't want to kind of miss the words, because they what they've done now is his daughter has a Sean Taylor collection. I would have loved the fact, and I don't know if you guys seen Ryan Clark at the game. He wore like a Washington Commanders and did like a 21, like on like a patch of 21.
Yep.
The player should have just wore that. Everybody, that should have been their sideline gear. The NFL should just approve that what was Ryan Clark was wearing, and I think that'd have been more appropriate than to have that. And I understand, yeah, it wasn't supposed to be a statue, but to me, for you even have some what they call a memory installation, that still is bad. I still think that's terrible. You can't have a man because that could be any of us. That could be any of us. Like
if somebody,
right?
Yeah, and the biggest point is if someone that doesn't know who Sean Taylor is, and they came there and it says number 21 Taylor, how would they know who he was?
Exactly.
I mean, that could be anybody with the last name Taylor. So maybe it was not supposed to be a statue. Maybe it was just supposed to be a memorial. But you could have did a plaque like they do with the Hall of Fame. Put a plaque with his face on it, a little paragraph, and that would have been good. Like this was half-assed, man.
That's what I was thinking. They could have just did a memorial with a plaque and said, okay, statue coming soon. Statue's coming like later on, but this is what we have now. Don't get a cheap mannequin. This is a cheap way and a disrespectful way to, for Sean Taylor. So it was very, I agree with everybody. It was very disrespectful. And like I said, they could have just said, you know what, we're going to we will have a statue. It's being made. Maybe we're going to get a new stadium, whatever it is. We're going to move the statue. We're going to really have a statue for him. Do a plaque and do it right.
Agreed. James King, I have one question for you about this. Do you think that looks like they took 15 years preparing to unveil that? That's the only question I have. I removed
15 minutes.
I was exactly. Does it even look like they took 15 minutes?
Exactly. Because all you're doing is slapping on a jersey and you're slapping on some pants. It's like you said, it's literally, I guarantee you, anybody who's at a Foot Locker tonight and got to put a display on, it'll be ready first thing in the morning. Facts. They can leave now and be ready first thing in the morning.
Facts.
Yeah, it was window shopping. That's what they was doing.
Yeah, that's what it was equivalent to. Basically, if he had all Nike gear on with the latest Air Maxes, you wouldn't have been able to tell the difference.
Exactly.
Right.
You just think he's from Northeast DC.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Really,
that's crazy.
Blue City Empire Sports says, how would you feel if the New York Giants draft Anthony Richardson in the second or third round?
Was that a question for me?
I believe it's for you, sir.
Yeah, I would say it's for you.
I don't even know who Anthony Richardson is.
Yeah, Gator. Oh, he a Gator.
Florida quarterback.
Florida's quarterback?
Yeah.
AR. Well, is he allowed? Are we allowed to call him AR-15? I know he was.
I mean, you can say whatever you want to say.
I mean, but remember he was. Remember that was the issue with him because remember that was his nickname and people wanted him to change his.
No, that was the dude
him, right?
from. No, that was the dude from the Lakers who said he doesn't want to be called AR-15.
Oh, I thought it was him. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was.
I was gonna say that's a pretty sick nickname. I think if you're a quarterback, you know what I mean. Like.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think the biggest question is for all of us and for you, Wise, are you unhappy with Daniel Jones? Because that's the question. If you want to draft Anthony Richardson.
No, I'm not. I'm. To me, he finally has a coach. Dayball is using him the best to his ability. He just doesn't have anybody to throw the ball. Prior to Bellinger getting hurt, they was building some chemistry. Bellinger was coming up with some great plays. So to me, it's no re-sign him, get him some receivers, and let him ball out because Saquon is back. Saquon is doing Saquon things. Daniel Jones is more athletic than what people give him credit for. He's had a 100-yard rushing season this year already. He's second leading rusher on the team. He's done everything except for the last few weeks where he's had a couple of picks and some turnovers, some costly turnovers. Other than that, he's played pretty well.
Yeah, I think he's the best option for right now. Now that possibly could Dable possibly change? I think it's a possibility depending on what the option is. I don't know if Anthony Richardson is necessarily an upgrade from Daniel Jones at this moment. I think that's where the biggest question is going to come in at.
Yeah, I would say if it's me and the Giants, I'm taking a veteran quarterback if I'm going any direction. Yeah. I mean, if you're sticking with a young guy, why not just keep developing Daniel Jones? He's shown flashes this season.
He's shown that if with the right coaching, he's capable of doing some good things. He has an arm. He can make all the throws. Like I said, he's more athletic than what people want to give him credit for.
Yeah. And there's a comment from Blue City Empire Sports. Did anybody see what Patrick Mahomes' little brother did? He said it was a disgrace. I don't know.
Okay.
His brother needs to stay out of in front of cameras.
Correct.
What did he do?
I don't know. But
So this is another botch situation that happened last year. So remember they retired Sean Taylor jersey. Now, granted, we found out like Tuesday or Wednesday of that week of. Now, this is supposed to be like the legends. And they're like, you're retiring a jersey and we're playing the Kansas City Chiefs. You got the worst pass offense in NFL history. And you're gonna so what happened? They retired his jersey. It was some mess with that. So then they had a 21. They had 21 painted on one of the sidelines, and it was gated. Am I allowed? And then that jackass, Jackson Mahomes, was dancing and did a TikTok dance on that 21.
Okay, I remember now what happened.
Yeah. And he right, and that's another where it's like all this stuff is happening, like it's one common denominator, and it shouldn't even like those things. That bars his legacy, in my personal opinion, for his Washington Redskins, Washington Commanders, all that legacy. And it's just like and that's why you like who wants to be in this organization, want to get a blood, sweat, and tears, and for somebody who died tragically like this, how you treat this individual. So how it could be, how it would be for a normal person who has a great career here to even want to be here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, his brother is
annoying.
Is for the gram all day. Every time I see this dude, he's doing something goofy to get attention. Your brother's Patrick Mahomes. You probably gonna be good for life. Just sit down somewhere, man.
Exactly. He's the TikTok queen. I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet.
All right, James King says Jones is Trubisky 2.0. Both average QBs. Jones will be a backup eventually. I'm gonna give Jones the edge over Trubisky. And look, I'm a Tar Heels fan. Me and Couch Coach just kind of discovered each other, but I didn't even know. I didn't think Trubisky was supposed to be picked that high. And I follow Carolina football, so that was he's not there. He's not up there. Period. He wasn't up there then, and he's not up there now. Jones is actually starting in the league right now.
Right.
I would give Jones the edge over Trubisky.
But I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a down this hill. I don't care. My little nephew Joe Montana Trubisky. He a good man. He just been in some bad predicaments, bro. Like with the whole Matt Nagy situation, and now Matt Canada don't know what on God's green earth he doing for his offense in Pittsburgh. Mitch Trubisky, I think he needs a great, solid coach, a good offensive wizard, honestly, because I think his career can be salvaged. He just has had bad. He just had bad offensive coordinators and bad influences.
When he was in Chicago, he put up some decent numbers. It's not like he put up some bad numbers. He just didn't have weapons around him.
I really wanted to see him with the Giants and Brian Dable. I really wanted to see that happen this offseason. That would have been the best possible landing spot for him. It would have been like the first time he had the same offensive system 2 seasons in a row since like his rookie season. So, yeah, I don't think you can blame Trubisky for his lack of development in the
NFL. Shout out to Al High. Thank you for tuning in.
What up, Al?
What up, Al?
Let's get back to comments is buzzing tonight. Let's get back to week 12 real quick. Eagles beat the Packers, which again, somebody already mentioned. All the other teams beat the Packers, but the Cowboys. But give me your thoughts. I think that was Sunday night too, wasn't it?
Prime time.
Yeah. A-Rod getting eaten alive, by the way. But go ahead, Cool and Sam.
I'll let you start, Cool.
All right. I won't take everything. Special teams disgust me.
Yes.
I think everybody on special teams should be demoted, and we can get the guys at the practice squad. They can't be any worse. Maybe they'll be hungry. I am disappointed in the special teams as a unit, from the coach to the trainers to everybody has anything to do with the special teams. You are all garbage.
Wow.
Straight up. You are garbage. And me and everybody on this panel could do better. Because at least we go out there and try. That's very disappointing. Play calling on defense, same crap. You put a 40 burger up and you give up 33. And not to mention, half of those points were given up to Jordan freaking Love with this soft garbage zone where you know straight up the middle, a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left, or out routes on the outside are going to get them every time because they're playing 8 yards back in a soft zone. And we all know the last time Jordan Love played a football game, what happened?
Yeah.
He didn't get that much better. He did not. Nobody makes that much of an increase. Period.
And I'm sorry, I forgot you, Courtney. Courtney, you can jump in too whenever you.
Oh no, I got much to say. I agree, 100% agree. Special teams, the Packers were moving the ball, and I know, yes, that's still Aaron Rodgers. No matter how bad the Green Bay Packers are, that's still Aaron Rodgers on the other side before he got hurt. But as you said, Jordan Love, they made him look like Aaron Rodgers. That's what makes it so terrible, the Eagles, in a way. But like I said, I'm not going to complain too much. We're still 10-1. We're winning football games. A lot of teams can't say that. So, but there are some glaring issues, like we were saying earlier, moving forward.
Yeah, Jordan Love, 6 for 9, 118 yards and a touchdown in like less than a quarter of action. So, yeah, that's disappointing to say the least. We have one of the best secondaries in the league. We should have never allowed that to happen. I don't care what defense you're running at the time. The corners need to kind of just, override the coordinator if it's really that bad at that point. I get that we were trying to nurse a victory there, but it's just more indication that we need to make some adjustments going forward. Otherwise, we're going to have some really tough losses coming up quick.
Yeah. And Wise had to dip out, so appreciate you, Wise, for coming on. He's got to get up early, real early. So yeah, definitely get your rest. That was week 12. Eagles beat the Packers, and I want to ask the Eagles guys that's on tonight: are you concerned at all with Jalen Hurts having 153 yards passing, 7 yards rushing? You concerned at all of his ability to play at a high level this entire season? Doing that.
Yes, I am highly concerned about that. I've been talking about it all season. We've been using him as kind of our power back, and a lot of times we're relying on him to kind of run dudes over. And that's your starting quarterback. We're going to get him hurt at some point. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you want to keep him in a box or keep him in the pocket all game long. But at the same time, every great quarterback that was once a dual threat has developed into a pocket passer as their career is gone for injury's sake. So there's a reason why that happens. And obviously, we can't afford to get Hurts injured. I mean, I like Minshew. I think he's a great backup, but he's no Jalen Hurts at this point.
Yeah, facts. Cool.
Courtney, I'll let you go.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a little concern there because he said he's our starting quarterback, and the thing that I do like is that he said they're not keeping him in that box. They're letting him, he's got to scramble sometimes, and that's what it takes. Like he took against the Colts, he had to take over because the offense was stuck in the mud. They couldn't move the ball, and then the turnover, and then it's like, okay, Hurts like, don't calm down. I'm gonna get this win, and that's what he did. But it is concerning, especially at the end of the season. It's getting towards the end of the year where we're peaking, and this is where we want to try to get this Super Bowl run. And we need Jalen Hurts. I don't think it's gonna be another Nick Foles situation with Gardner Minshew. As good as I like him too, but I just don't believe that they're gonna be able to win a Super Bowl with Gardner Minshew. So I think they got to keep Jalen Hurts healthy as much as possible.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no for this game. There is a slight bit of concern for the season, but the reason is he got hit maybe 4 times, right? Because a lot of these runs were big runs. He was getting out of bounds or smart plays, and he was going down. I think he played it right in this particular game. But if we're discussing like a season, I don't want to see this every game, right? I don't care if he gets 1,000 yards. I do agree with Sam's point. I'm tired of seeing him used as a power back on 3rd and 4th and 1. You have running backs. You have a guy in Trey Sermon who is a bowling ball with legs who should be in those situations. If you're not going to put him in the situations, what was the point in bringing him onto the roster? Your quarterback needs to be a quarterback. He is a dual threat. I don't have a problem when he runs and he's smart. I understand you're going to take a couple of hits, but you can take some hits in the pocket as well. But what I don't want is him being the guy with the second most carries on the team, him being the guy with the second most rushing yards on the team, because that's when it becomes a concern, because that means over a season. And there are some guys later in the season who might say, we want to win a championship, or we want to make sure the Philadelphia Eagles don't take him out. So we got to be smart about those things. I don't like design runs. I like you get the ball, it's an RPO. You get the ball, it's supposed to be a quick pass. It's not there. You see a lane, you go. I don't like let's scheme 10 runs for Jalen Hurts in the game. Just let him be him. He's gonna be able to figure out when to make the plays that he needs to make with his arms and when he needs to make some with his legs. I don't want the offensive coordinator, Shane Steichen, to get comfortable with Hurts having 100, 150-yard games as a running back or as a runner at quarterback. But I do want the dual threat to stay. I want someone to have to focus on Jalen Hurts every game and say, I can't not focus on this guy. We need to keep another guy down in the box or another guy spying Jalen Hurts, which takes another guy out of the passing game so we can use that arm and hit some of those receivers like the skinny Batman, the fast Batman, and the swole Batman and get big plays.
The swole Batman, I like that. So the Jalen Blue City Empire Sports said he was getting up slowly during the Packers game. I didn't watch that game fully, but was there some times he was getting up slow?
It was one time when he got hit pretty good and he got up a little slow. But I mean, like I said, it wasn't a hit you couldn't take in the pocket as a quarterback. It wasn't like he tried to jump and somebody blasted him in midair or something. It was just, it was a hit. It's football.
Yeah, it's the NFL. I mean, you will get hit hard. These are guys that play professional. But I do think long term, obviously, you don't want to see your quarterback making all these runs.
Right.
We see it, year after year after year. We see these injuries, like the injury with Dak. Yeah. I mean, it was a run. I mean, and his ankle, ankle was landed on wrong, and you see what happened. So anything can happen when that quarterback is running out of that pocket. I think we all, All right, we got some other comments here. This is from Sean and Kathy. They say Super Bowl predictions. I don't know. Y'all want to go around the room? Super Bowl predictions.
Shout out to my guy Sean. That's one of the co-hosts on one of my shows that we run on Shady Sports Network. He runs a team-specific show called The Tropical Storm about the Topeka Tropics, an indoor football team. So with that being said, I think Super Bowl projections, I'm going to go Philadelphia KC, and it'll be a very fun game to watch for Eagles fans that have been watching since Andy Reid was a coach. It'll be interesting to see exactly who wins that game, but I think those are ultimately the two teams that end up in the Super Bowl.
I like that. All right, next.
I'm going with the same prediction. Eagles Chiefs. Yeah, the Andy Reid days. I'm that old to understand the Andy Reid days. But yes, I think that's going to be the Super Bowl. That'll be my Super Bowl prediction too, because I think we forgot, or some people forgot, say how good Patrick Mahomes is. Going into this season, we're talking about Josh Allen. We're talking about deservedly so. But Patrick Mahomes has proven again why he's the best player in football, and he's the best quarterback in football, in my opinion. So I'm going Eagles Chiefs too.
Okay, all right, Coach.
So I'm gonna stick with my my preseason one because it's still existent. So give me 49ers and the Bills.
Okay. All right. And cool.
I'm going with the Bama Bowl. I'm going Philadelphia Eagles, Miami Dolphins.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
That'd be an
Yeah.
interesting game.
Okay.
Yeah, in the Valley.
And they're going to
All
score 5,000 points.
All right. I'm gonna ride with my division. I'm gonna ride with y'all. I'm gonna go Eagles, and I'm gonna go Bills. I think the Bills are finally gonna get there this year, and I think they're definitely hungry enough. I know I could have picked the Cowboys, but I'm not that fan. It's just gonna blindly pick the Cowboys all the time. So.
Yeah.
Right.
I won't do the Commanders either. I know I'm gonna end. I know I guess about the.
And that's why I
wrong.
respect y'all too, right? That's why I respect y'all too. Like, I mean, it's not you ain't got to pick the Eagles. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying I respect y'all because it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna pick my team, right? You actually look at at what's going on and pick who you think is gonna be the best.
Very objective, yeah.
The facts are we haven't made it to a conference championship game in a long time. So like, you gotta have to show me. Like I'm tired of all these half predictions. You gotta show me.
Yeah,
right.
Can I just sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we got 16-year-old kids ain't never seen watch the Commanders win, so I'm not gonna jump off the window tonight. Like, watch the Commanders.
Yeah.
Right.
That's completely fair. I mean, I do want to say that this last game with Dallas and Minnesota, that game scared me as an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
I was like, man, we beat Minnesota, but it wasn't that bad. They like hung around quite a bit in that game. So to see that victory by Dallas, I was like, man, we're going to have some tough games at the end of the season with Dak and Dallas and then the Giants 2 games as well. I'm a little concerned about those 3 games.
Yeah. Now I hope that I'm wrong, but I'm just gonna be real right now based on what it looks like. So let's get to some questions we got in the chat, and then we'll get to games for this week. So James King says, got a question, hear me out. With the same game plan Taylor Heineke has been given, does Wentz make Washington better? Because he can throw more throws, or he can make more throws. Heineke cannot and doesn't have to throw 40.
So I think the biggest issue with Carson Wentz is he needs a line, because obviously with him, he has his hesitation, which I just don't understand why he think people gonna fall for the hezzy. I don't get it. That's just him. But this offensive line does not give him an opportunity to throw that football and look for multiple reads. Now I think why he was successful in Philly, because obviously that offensive line, you had Kelsey, Lane Johnson, you had pretty much a very solid, offensive line, and they were a core group. So that's why he was successful. Because even last year, even though Indianapolis, he had great numbers, but that offensive line was terrible as well. He could, if Carson Wentz was mobile, then I think that's really the biggest issue, because I think he's still a good quarterback. I think the personnel of this Washington Commanders team is not conducive for his game, because obviously if you look at, and y'all guys know, when y'all played us in September 25th, all he did was hesitate. And I'm like, yo, you got to throw the football. Like, you've been sacked like 8-9 times already, and you still hesitating. They're not falling for that. And no one is falling for that no more. Everybody know when you got that hezzy, get them.
Yeah. Holding the ball for too long. I mean, we've seen it. We've seen it numerous times.
Yeah. And he could probably do that on a Philadelphia line. He could do that on some other lines that are established. But not with this line. Yeah.
And I think also with Wentz's problem, and it's been this for a while, is he doesn't take accountability, and that's always been the issue, with him and through his career, even with his Philly career. And when all that news was coming out, I was a big Wentz guy. Ben knows this. I was a huge Wentz guy. And I was like, I just believe in this guy. I mean, I really did. And especially that Super Bowl run when they were 11-2 before, he got injured, and, the pressure with Nick Foles winning the Super Bowl. Then he came back. He said, this was supposed to be my Super Bowl. I want to do this. And then I think the another problem with him is the plays that he tries to make. He forces a lot, and that's been through his career too. So it's those mistakes and unopportune times. Like, he'll have those good numbers, but then you're like, fourth quarter interception. 2-3 sacks in the fourth quarter. So that's been Wentz's career, especially lately, because you said he did put up good numbers with the Colts. He put up solid numbers, but it was that last game against Jacksonville where he looked terrible, and all they had to do was win and run the ball with Jonathan Taylor at least 35, 40 times. And Wentz, I think he had a fumble, he had an interception in that game too. So it's those types of those big games, he just falters, and I think that's a couple of things that he just never got over.
Yeah,
I have a answer for you guys. Okay.
Hell no.
Enough said.
Yeah, enough said right there. And like I said, Heineke's going to give you the best chance to win. And yes, you may lose some, but the percentage of winning and losing is going to be higher, I think, with Heineke. And he kind of rephrases the question, more upside with the stronger defense. I think we pretty much answered that. I mean, I think you still run with Heineke.
This
personnel, is Zach Wilson's career over with the New York Jets?
You can put the opposite and say, hell yeah. That's what you can say.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he's over. It's over for him in New York.
And the writing's on the wall, because if when Robert Saleh says his career isn't over, his career is over. Like, when it's almost like when they tell you something,
right.
Do the opposite.
Right.
You know the biggest problem for him there is, though? Mike White.
Mike White. Yes.
Mike White.
Mike White. He balled out.
Yeah.
He balled out.
Yeah. And I think Salah probably wants a guy that he's picking. He was given, he was
Zach
given
Wilson.
Zach Wilson. So I mean, I think he wants his guy, or maybe what his offensive coordinator wants. Whatever.
Trade. Yeah. That's a trade. That's trade bait. You can get you a pick or two out of Zach Wilson.
He could talk him up. He could talk him up real good.
Yeah, fifth. Some Saturday afternoon picks.
Hey, maybe a
Friday night,
third.
Maybe a low end third. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Well, you got to think. All it takes is one team to fall in love with a guy.
Well, if Joe Douglas get a Friday night pick for him, God bless his heart.
Right.
But if
he doing Howie moves, if you do that,
right? He doing Howie work, right?
We got a couple other comments. Jonathan Gannon loves some Jordan Love.
He loves the other team's offenses. That's what he loves.
Yes.
Shout out to Jordan Love, man. I hope y'all ain't had that man, his wife and his girlfriend and his mom in the upper deck.
Nosebleed.
In the nose like he did in Kansas City.
Yeah.
If they would have leaned back,
Kansas.
If they would have leaned back too far, they would have fell out of the stadium. They were so far up.
Right.
Like, that's not. Come on, man.
Jaguars.
His mom gotta have binoculars. Like, I don't see. Where is he? He was like, he on the sideline now.
Yeah, he said
this is a joke.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, come on.
Right.
They won their Super Bowl last week. Jags did. Beat Baltimore.
Take New York Football Giants versus Jets. I mean, that would be a great storyline. I don't necessarily see it.
I hope not.
Well, at least he's saying next season, so at least they got the rest of the season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jaguars ain't done.
Maybe.
Give them a full
Jags
season.
are done.
Yeah, maybe.
They beat the Ravens, but they
that was their Super Bowl. That right there, beating the Ravens.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the matchups for this week as we kind of end the show, round it out. Commanders at Giants. I think this is perfect this week. Another division matchup. We know it's going to be knockdown, drag out. playing in New York or wherever that is. So give me your thoughts, Couch Coach.
Yeah, this is another divisional game, and luckily for us, this will be our last road divisional game of the season. So, I think this comes at such a great time. Obviously, we talk about winning 6 of our last 7 games, and then obviously, and I forgot, was it one? Someone said that Daniel Jones 4-1 against this Commanders team. Daniel Key is really stopping him and Saquon Barkley. They've been pretty much the thorns on our side, obviously in the 5 matchups that we played against them. So I look at that from that standpoint. So I look at that as kind of the storyline and what can Taylor Heineke do in this situation. And then, being New Jersey is somewhat of a house of horrors for us as well. So the big thing is get out here with a win, get a bad week. And then the beauty thing about it is we got them, once again in 2 more weeks. So that's the beauty thing about all of it. And hey, we can get out of here with a victory, and we only got 2 division games left. You'll take it,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I think I'm gonna say it's a toss up, really, because I think both of these teams are pretty equal, and I think it's gonna be a division game, like I said. So it's gonna be tough sledding. So let's get to the next one. Titans at Eagles. I don't trust. I will never, ever trust Tannehill. Never. If he has to throw a ball, it's probably going to end up being intercepted. So I'm going to go Eagles. I'm going to go ahead and say it now. But go ahead and cool and Courtney.
I guess I'll go first because this is good. Yeah, this is I'm a little worried. I'm not even gonna front because of King Henry. This guy we know is a beast. He's getting so many targets. He's getting targets out of the backfield. He's running through defenses, and that's like I said, that's the recipe against us. Washington proved that, and if they run the football, that sets up that play action for Ryan Tannehill, they can have success. But on the other end, if the Eagles, if they could just contain Derrick Henry, I'd say contain, not stop him, contain him. I don't think they're stopping Derrick Henry, and they could force Ryan Tannehill to those interceptions. Then that's what happens. So, with the Eagles on the offensive side of the ball, they can move the ball against the Titans. I think they're gonna have to throw because Titans are tough against the run too. So, but I think the Eagles can move the ball by the pass, and it's a revenge game. AJ Brown, he's been talking, so he wants to get a couple of touchdowns. He wants to get some touchdowns like he did against Pittsburgh. So AJ Brown wants to really stick it to Tennessee. So I had the Eagles winning too. I got them in a close one. I think it's gonna be something like 24-20, but I think the Eagles do pull out the win.
And I forgot about that AJ Brown storyline right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's gonna want them targets. So
yeah.
Well, man, it's my favorite team versus my second favorite team for the next 3 years. Anybody that gives us AJ Brown, I have to at least make it my second favorite team for the next few years.
Right.
But I'm obviously going to go with the Eagles. I think the 2 main things that are going to be important is the Eagles getting Jordan Davis back. So that should help a lot with the run defense against King Henry and Hilliard, because you got to put Hilliard in as well, because he does his thing when he gets his opportunities as well. You're going to have to force them to make throws with Ryan Tannehill, like you so eloquently already said, Ben. There's opportunities for our defensive backs and presumably Reed Blankenship, who's fielding nicely for CJGJ after the injury, to go scoop something and take it back to the house, or closest to the house as you can get. I think the other thing for the Eagles is we showed a lot of run last week. Tennessee is going to prepare for that run. They're not going to let us run like that this week. Period. They're not going to. That line that they have, it's not going to let that happen. But they secondary is a little more suspect.
Yeah.
So it's an opportunity this week for us to flip around and have Hurts sitting maybe in the pocket or just moving to make throws this week versus looking for a lot of runs. I mean, I think he'll take a couple of runs because that's just what he does. But I think more in the pocket this week, more control, more focused on getting that ball out to swole Batman, Mr. AJ Brown, as well as skinny Batman Devontae Smith, who needs a big game. He hadn't had a big game in a while, so a nice game for him. as well, because I think they're going to focus on trying to take AJ Brown away at times. Those are the times you go to Smith. Those are the times you go to Fast Batman as well. He's been playing well the last few weeks. So you just get all those guys incorporated. And for those of you who may not know this, Quez Watkins. So you get those guys incorporated and you make things happen in that passing game. That's going to be what we're going to need to use to win this week. Tight end is going to be a problem for us because Jack Stoll, he can catch the ball, but he's definitely not anywhere near Dallas Goedert. And then Cal Katera, I mean, he's still really wet behind the ears as far as NFL goes. Tyree Jackson, I think, is the best of the three, but the guy who's only been back, for 2 weeks.
2 weeks,
he's not really himself yet, coming back from this ACL injury. So, I mean, tight end is going to be something that was a strength for us that may not be as much so now, but hey, you still got hands. If the ball comes your way, you need to catch it. So, I think the passing game is going to be the difference, and that's where the Eagles are going to have an advantage where they can win the game.
Yeah.
I think the biggest. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just sorry about that. I was going to say because Joe Burrow was able to move the ball against Tennessee last week.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Hurts should be able to move the ball too, as you said. And I think with Quez Watkins, the way he's been playing so well, because it's opened up, because like I said, they don't have Dallas Goedert over that middle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been helping Quez Watkins get open. And he's the real speed guy that we have, and he can break loose, and he has done that over the last couple of weeks. So the Eagles it's going to have to be an aerial attack, I believe, and they're not going to be able to run the football like they could. I mean, it is strength versus strength of our offensive line against their defensive line, but Tennessee's defensive line is so rugged, and I just believe, like you said, it's going to be an aerial attack, and if Joe Hurts gets time, he can really pick this defense apart.
Yeah. And I was just gonna say, as long as you guys take advantage of your opportunities, I think this should be a game you should definitely win. And Tannehill's probably gonna give you a couple. And the job that Vrabel has done with Tannehill as his quarterback,
that's crazy.
This dude should be in running for Coach of the Year every year.
Yeah.
And he doesn't seem like they got Malik Willis, which I think he will probably take the reins next year. But this is just last year that he actually kind of made a step to getting somebody else. So
yeah,
I salute Vrabel for that.
For sure.
Facts.
That's impressive. For sure.
Yeah.
Now let's get to the Sunday night game. Colts at Cowboys. First of all, this should on no means necessary be the Sunday night game. I know it's the Cowboys, and that's the reason why. But they're playing the 4-7-1 Colts. You can't even put that record up on the screen. Just hide the record. Don't even put it on there, man.
This should have been flexed. This should have been flexed.
Yeah, this should have been flexed. Right. Like NFL is good at flexing games. This one should have definitely been.
Could have flexed the Eagles and the Titans.
Or the Commanders and the Giants.
True.
That would have been a better one.
We might be.
I was being greedy, so that's true.
Yeah,
we might be.
Or you could have did Chiefs Bengals.
Chiefs Bengals would have been.
Sunday night. Going to the jungle.
Or that Miami San Francisco would have been really good at flex too.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Oh man.
It's so many storylines on that
right.
one,
And the Chiefs and like I said, that could be a potential Super Bowl preview. And then I think about the Chiefs and the Bengals in the all white on a Sunday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think about two out there slinging the ball 5 yards and then taking off for another 80 every other play.
And
Tyreek Hill going like this.
Chase is back. Yep.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
A lot of good storylines that could have been happening.
It's
the Cowboys.
Yeah, it's the Cowboys. Yeah, and Jeff Saturday and all that.
The Jeff Saturday. This is from now on. This is going to be called through the rest of history, the Jeff Saturday experiment, because that's exactly what this is. I get it. He's coached, and I'm not saying he can't be a good coach, but I'm saying they basically just said we're gonna do the most unorthodox thing on earth, and that's hire a guy from the booth that is coached in high school. Now, 4-7-1. I'm definitely picking the Cowboys. To me, this should not be a very difficult game. Matt Ryan is going to do what he does, which he's going to probably throw for a bunch of yards, and he's probably going to throw a couple picks. Hopefully, Diggs can get one this week.
Or get sacked
but-
like 10 times in a row.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
should be one of those games where the Cowboys take care of business early, finish this game off. Do not allow them to be sticking around, and I don't be watching this game on the edge of my seat in the fourth quarter. I should not be watching this game on the edge of my seat in the fourth.
And
quarter.
even if it's a close game, at least the coach still had it 3 timeouts.
Right in his pocket, right?
Right.
Yeah.
They don't round up to the next game. You know that, right? You can't take these with you now. You know,
It's like time off. He's like,
Hey,
yo,
I will say this though. I will say this. Jeff Saturday has way more coaching experience in the sport that he's coaching than Steve Nash had. I just want to put that out there.
True. And he a Carolina guy, so like you said, yeah,
and,
it's love.
and
It's
Steve,
love
Steve
there.
Nash got the nod because I guess because of the MVPs, probably because he was friends with the GM.
Yeah,
But
and
like,
he
we need to realize
handpicked.
that just because you've played the game does not always mean you are a good coach.
Correct.
It does not always mean that.
Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Larry Bird.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas
man.
in there too.
Oh yeah, he was terrible. He was terrible. Isaiah was
Yeah.
terrible.
I think he was worse than Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
Yeah, Bird got to a
Well,
finals.
Bird got to the finals, yeah.
He did get to a
Yeah.
finals. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Let's get to some final words as we wrap out this show.
Mhm.
Where can people find you guys? Any last minute thoughts you got? We're gonna go to Couch Coach first.
Yeah, man. Another great show. Always good. You know, we had a holiday back, but it's glad that we back at it full strength. So pretty much my podcast, Couch Coach Live, and also my Watch the Commanders Centric podcast, Commanders in the Chat.
Awesome.
That's what I forgot last night.
Boy.
You know, you had to get off. So I was trying to shout you out, and I forgot to shout out Commanders in the Chat. I did the Couch Coach
It's all
Live, but I
good.
forgot
It's all
Commanders
good.
in
It's
the
all good.
No
All
doubt.
right, Courtney making his first appearance. Glad you were able to come on. Definitely wanted to send you that invite. So glad we were able to make that happen tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
Final thoughts.
Appreciate it. Love the NFC East. You know, I was been in the comments. I was like, yo, I got to jump on here, man. I got to really get into this guy because I love the banter, you know, and everything too. But you can find them on my podcast, The Real Deal with Courtney Harden, on BS3 Network, Roku, all the podcast platforms. And just follow at Get the Real Deal, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, definitely. Cool.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this for Sam because I know he had to hop off. Check out Shady Sports Network. You can find them on YouTube. A lot of great content. They cover all things football, not just NFL, but they do indoor football, XFL, MFL, all those leagues. So if you're a real football junkie and you just want to talk anything football, you want to hear a lot about different leagues, check out Shady Sports. They're the spot for that. But for me, you can find me on Tuesday nights at NFL Matchup Madness. playcallsportstalk.com/live. You can also find me at the same channel on Friday nights at 7:30 p.m. Now I gotta get used to 7:30 for the Play Caller Sports Talk show.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And then on Wednesday nights, Eagles Elite Podcast, youtube.com/@Eagles Elite Podcast. All things Philadelphia Eagles, good, bad, ugly, pretty, beautiful, wonderful, horrible. We talk it all.
Yeah, definitely. So definitely check out and follow, subscribe, all of these platforms. Right now we're live on Couch Coaches Facebook group, so make sure to like that or subscribe to that.
Absolutely.
Shady Sports Network, Eagles Elite, Play Callers, BS3 Network, and then also follow Couch Coach on Twitter. And I'm BS3 Network, all avenues of social media. Add the BS3 TV app on your TV, or you can go to bs3tvlive.com. We're live on that platform as well. Also, shout out to Wise. He had to dip out too. Wise Productions, Real Wise Productions. Also, Stuck in My Mind podcast, which comes on during the week.
And that's a good show, y'all. That's a good show.
Yeah, really hitting some great topics. Talking about a lot of really, really important things that we deal with every day. So we will be back next week. This is episode 11 of the NFC Beast. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
You know
One
it.
Word Nation.
Yeah, to the Commanders.